11. All right. Welcome. Hello, everybody. It's 11. My name is Regina. If we have not met, if we have met, hello. It's so nice to see you. It's such a beautiful day outside. I'm only going to keep you for about 15, 20 minutes. And then the restorative practice that we're going to do at noon is going to be about 30 minutes, okay? So no worries. You have plenty of time to go outside today, but I do want us to take some time and relax and release and enjoy ourselves this weekend. Okay, so the purpose of this little tutorial is to talk about props in the yoga studio. I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to talk about why props, okay, what their use is and how they can benefit us. I'm also going to show you what props you might see as you go into a yoga studio. And if you're at home doing your yoga practice with me or with anybody else, and you don't have these props at home and you can't get to them or get them, I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can use in place of that. So this can be also for any yoga teachers, for a refresher if you don't know how to use anything, because I'm telling you, I'm learning and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting information. So it's good for you too. Maybe those who graduated from my teacher training. All right, so first of all, why props? Props are there to help us to create space in our body, to help us feel more comfortable in the pose, to help us bring the ground up closer to us, to help bring our limbs closer to us if we're tight in our body and we can't reach. And they are also there to help us to do the pose. Now, it doesn't matter that on the cover of whatever magazine, yoga magazine, that this person is not using a block and they're just really flexible. Okay, that's them. It's not our job to look like that person on the cover of Yoga Journal. It's not our job to look like anybody else that we're practicing with. It's our job to look like ourselves and feel ourselves in our body and feel our space and get into the pose in our own way. Everybody's body is different. We all practice yoga differently. Our bodies are made differently. We have different injuries and things going on. So everything is going to look different. And so it's super important that you know that when you come into a yoga class. I know for myself, sometimes, you know, in the beginning, you get a little intimidated. You're like, well, I don't want to grab this prop because the teacher didn't tell us to. But then I got into a groove of, especially when I got injured, I got into the groove of going to pick up the props myself. And you may not even know to pick up the props yourself. You only know when the teacher asks you to grab one. And then in my classes, when I teach at Wayne State, when I teach the students, sometimes they think that having a prop is it shows that you're a lesser yoga student or you're weaker, or I don't know. It's just, there's just some kind of stigma sometimes, not every time, not with everybody, around using props. And I'm telling you that if you use the prop, I'm telling you it's going to help your life. It's going to make you feel so much better in your body. All right. So if you have that in your body, or if there's ever been a situation you have that in your body, let's just wipe that away. And next time you were able to go to yoga studios, or next time you're practicing at home, if you need a prop, I want you to go ahead and grab a prop. So today, I wanted to focus on a lot of the props that we'll be using in restorative yoga. If you've ever been to a restorative class, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you did a restorative practice with me in the past couple of weeks, we used chair. Today we're going to use the wall. And I didn't use any props. I used very minimal props because I didn't know what you had at home. So I thought, hey, let me let these guys know how to build their own props. All right, so first, just gonna start out with what props you might see when you go to a yoga studio. You will see, or you might see, not in all of them, you might see a yoga block. There are gonna be different levels, or different thicknesses, they might be shapes. There might be some that are kind of octagon shaped or different shapes. There are going to be different materials. This particular ones, or these particular two, are kind of foamy, so they're a little bit soft. I like this one a little bit better because it has a little bit of give. You're also going to see cork. You might see cork blocks as well, and those are a little bit harder. And you can stack them and sit them up. I tried to sit on these the other day, and they kind of flew up from under me because they're a little bit soft. All right, you're gonna also see, or you may see, if I say you're gonna see, just mean that you may see, because not all yoga studios have all of these things because they might not use them. That might not be their purpose. You may also see a strap or a yoga belt, and It has this little end where you're going to secure the belt together. I'm not going to show that today. I would show that in a particular class. But this is help to use to get flexibility in the shoulders, maybe, to hook around your foot, to bring your body closer to each other, to get a shoulder stretch. That's what the strap is going to be used for. You may also see a bolster, this big old long kind of pillow-like thing. It is soft. It is used for support. I'll show you how in a second. Just wanted to go through and show you what you may see. And you also may see a blanket. I'm going to show you some folds in a blanket. It doesn't have to be this. These are the Mexican blankets that you might see in a yoga studio. But again, you can see any, you can use, or you may see any other type of blanket. Just want it to be a firm blanket, or else you might need a few to stack on top of each other. So I'm going to show you how to make some support on your mat, and I'm going to show you how to make some bolsters. Okay, and then you might see a Zabu. So this you may see in a yoga studio, and you may not. These are more so, you may see them in a temple where you're going to meditate, or meditation temple. So if your yoga studio has meditation times where you come in, you might see these along with a zabuton that you sit on top of, and it supports your knees. So we got a zafu, we've got a bolster, we've got blocks, we've got yoga strap, and then we've got some blankets. All right, cool. Let's start with the block. So the block, and a lot of these are going to have similar purposes. I'm going to keep an eye on the time so I can make sure I don't keep you too long. A lot of these have similar purposes. The block is support. All of it. Actually, just think of all of it as support. So block is support. I'm going to sit on it. I usually grab a block before when I go to the studio because my hamstrings may be tight, or my back may be a little bit tight. So this is going to raise me up a little bit. Sitting on the edge of it. It's going to raise me up a little bit. Is going to allow my knees to open a little bit more. Okay, so it's support. It can be support for your bridge poses. Right, so you can put that on any level. I don't know if you can see me. I can't see myself. Okay, I might be too far from the camera. So you can put it on any level to help your bridge poses. You can put it in the middle of your back any way is comfortable, right in the middle of the shoulder blades. It's a heart opener. It just depends on how much firmness you need, because you can do that with all of these props. Okay, you can also use it, you should use the same sizes, but you can also use it for balancing poses to hold you up, and you can also use it to set your foot on. You're having an awkward balancing day. So that's what these blocks are for. You don't have blocks at home. I have these wonderful hardcover books. Now these are pretty thin, so you might be looking at something a little bit thicker, or putting a few of these together, like maybe a dictionary or something like that. But just something that's as thick, and they're all the same size. You can stack these on one another, and you can sit on them, or you can use them as balance. So we got hardcover books. Perfect. All right. The next thing is the zafu. You're going to sit on this to meditate. Same thing as the block. This has buckwheat holes in it, so I can shape it a little bit more when I sit on it. I usually kind of hit it a little bit so I can get a place for my butt to sit, like that. All right. And when you're meditating for a long time, you always want to be comfortable and not bunched up. All right, so that's kind of the only thing for the zafu for me, since that one is filled with buckwheat. It's a little bit too sturdy for to use as a bolster for me, but for you, it may be a little bit different. All right, bolster, super fun bolster. We're gonna use this in restorative. This is gonna go, you can sit on this. I'm not gonna sit on it. You saw how I sit on the block and on the zafu. This is gonna be great for underneath your knees. It's gonna be for low back support, right? So it's just gonna prop your knees up a little bit just to bring the tailbone down. That's relaxing. You can also use this to lie across. So I have it the long way. Tailbone is up against it, and I'm just gonna lie across it. This is a great heart opener. Okay, so my chest is puffed up. You can also sit on it and come back so that your head is hanging off. So this is a supported fish pose. Good. You can also lay on it for a supported spinal twist. You use blocks to prop it up. We'll talk about that another time. Underneath the knees for a supported reclined angle. There's lots of uses, and there's a lot that I'm not going to go through right now, but you see what I'm saying. Child's pose. Oh, lots of them. Let me show you, just so you'll know. Child's pose. So that's the bolster. Awesome, right? You don't have a bolster. I have all these lovely pillows. These are not as firm as the bolster, so you may need 2 or 3, or you might have a bigger pillow than this, or some bigger pillows, or you might use your sofa cushions too as a bolster. Just depending on what we're doing and how much firmness or thickness that you need. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about the strap. I just talked about it a little bit, right? So it's just going to bring your limbs closer. Right? Just going to help you if you can't reach your toe or your ankle. It's just going to help you bring your limbs closer. This is also good when you're doing standing poses. It's going to also be good for shoulder flexion or shoulder opening or heart opening. Okay? That's just what the strap does. And then sometimes the teacher will have you put the straps together and hook it around certain spaces, and you're able to feel this a lot more. Again, we won't be going into that fully right now or today. All right, I saved this wonderful for last, the blankets. Let me make sure I got everything. All right, perfect. I got my little notes. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything. So this is a blanket that you might see in a yoga studio. I'm going to open it all the way up, and then I'm going to show you how to fold it for different supports. I'm going to show you how to make a bolster, and I'm going to show you how to make a neck pillow out of the blanket. So you don't have to have one of these Mexican blankets, but you do see that I have a longer edge, and then I have a shorter edge with these fringes on it, okay? All right, so I don't know the dimensions, but that's what it looks like. All right, so whatever blanket you have, it's totally fine. And even if it's an even blanket, it's totally fine because it'll end up looking the way we want it to anyway. All right, so I'm just gonna, I got this flattened out, and I'm gonna show you a couple of folds. We're good on time, it's 11:13. I'm almost done. All right, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna fold it in half, just one time. Fold in half one time. Make sure it's even, edge to edge. This can be used, and you see I'm sliding it back on my yoga mat. This can be used for more support underneath you as you lie in Shavasana, as you lie in a restorative pose with your feet up on the bolsters, as you just lay here. All right, you'll see it looks like a beach towel at this point too, which I do also have a beach towel, and I'll show you that in a second. All right, so fold it in half the long way. Then we're going to take it from the end, fold it in half, let these tassels touch, and now you're looking at half the mat, okay? So this is your lower body, depending on how short or tall you are, and this is your upper body, and you can always adjust it. So when it's here, you have support for your tailbone, and you have support for your shoulders up here. Good? All right. And then let's fold it one more time. So it's coming about to a quarter of the mat. This is what's called the shoulder stand fold. So this is the fold that it's going to look like when you go into a shoulder stand. We're not going to do a shoulder stand right now, but it's going to support your shoulders, your shoulder blades, your upper back. Good? All right, let's open this back up. So we're back out at this fold, this half fold. I folded it halfway across the long way where it looks like it's the length of your yoga mat, okay? So now I want to fold it again in half, all right? So I folded it, and then I folded it again, okay? Cool beans? All right. Now, I'm going to fold this in half again. All right. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. So right here, this can be, you can sit on this, you can put your head on this, you can put your feet on this, you can put it up underneath your low back, depending on how high you want it. You can put it up underneath your whole back for a heart opener. Same thing when it's at this length, okay? Now, when it's at this length, I'm going to show you two folds. We're going to roll it the long way. So I'm starting at the edge, and I'm rolling it. So now it looks like a tube, okay? This is going to be for, let me just say, this is going to be for spinal extension heart opener. So kind of like the bolster, but just a little bit thinner. I'm going to come right to the edge of my tailbone, and then I'm going to lie across it. Okay, I'll extend my feet here. All right, so it's right in the middle of my back, right in the middle of my shoulder blades. Very nice heart opener. Cool. All right, so you can roll into a tube like that. And this tube can also go underneath your knees, underneath your neck. I'm going to show you a different one for a neck pillow though, okay? Because this might be too high. You might have to roll it out. Just depends on your body. All right, I'm rolling it back out here. Good. Now let's make a bolster. So depending on how thick you want your bolster, you're going to start at the end and roll it up. So I got this nice circly donut thing. This is not a donut. I'm tired. I want to go outside. No, I'm just kidding. Losing my words, but a burrito, kind of like a thick burrito. So here's your bolster, and you can sit on it. You can do all the things that we talked about with a bolster. If you want it thicker than that, then you'll take another blanket, put it on top, and do the same thing. You'll roll it up. So now you have a thicker bolster. It just depends on how thick you want your bolster. Okay. Now, if you wanted a longer bolster, let's go back out to that half fold again. So just unfolding it one. And then we can do the same thing, except it'll just be longer. So we got our our half fold. And then here's your longer bolster. You're gonna roll it up. Here's your longer bolster, so it's as long as this one. Okay, so that's if you want a longer bolster. And now for the neck pillow, I am going to do it one more time to that shorter one. Good. We fold it in half, and we fold it in half again, and then from here, this is where you can make your neck pillow. So you start at the edge, and you'll do a little roll. Depending on the thickness you want, you'll roll it up thicker or you'll roll it out a little bit thinner. So it kind of looks like that. So you got that flat edge back here, and you got a little roll. And that is to help your cervical spine. I'm gonna lay down, move my little ponytail out the way, put this underneath my neck. So it's supporting my cervical spine, keeping my spine in line, and I have a cushion for the back of my head. So my head is not just folded, like hanging on the mat, okay? So there's our neck pillow. Cool? All right. So please let me know if you have any questions about any of this. So we made a homemade bolster with our blanket. We made support for our back, For our legs with the blanket, we have our bolster. We made a bolster with a blanket. We made a bolster with some pillows if needed. We made blocks with books. I forgot we need to make a strap too. This is a scarf. You can have a scarf. You can have a belt or a tie. That's what's in place of the strap. And then I just wanted to show you, this is a towel. Okay, and I rolled it up the same way I did the blanket, but of course a towel is going to be a little bit thinner, so if you want to make a thicker bolster, then you'll have to stack a few towels on top of it. This is actually a yoga towel too. And then I have a little washcloth here. For restorative or for your Shavasana, if you don't have an eye mask, you can use this, put over your eyes when you're laying down, when you're in your restorative, okay? And then one more thing. With the blanket, when you're in your restorative Shavasana or resting poses, then you can use the blanket to cover up, all right? So I hope that this was a little bit helpful to you. If you're doing restorative for me with me later in the week, these are going to be helpful, and I will actually show you how to use these when we get into the actual classes. But I just wanted to show you some, I just wanted to show you some ways that you can makeshift your yoga props at home, okay? And for any yoga teachers, again, I didn't know half this stuff. And it's just good to know so you can help your clients in any situation. Okay, so thank you so much.